For this lesson, you should be on page 14, and we're going to be doing lesson 2, compare and order integers on a number line. We're on the build understanding. Remember, when we're on build understanding, you're going along with me and solving the problem. Number 1, we're going to use this information right here at the top, and we're going to solve the rest of the problems on the page, so all the way from E to F. Let's look at number 1. The table below shows the elevations above or below sea level of several lakes. Sea level is considered to be an elevation of 0 feet. So anything that's positive is represented as above sea level. Anything that is negative is below sea level. So let's take a look at these lakes that we have right here. Belden Lake is negative 18.5 feet. Forest Lake is 90 feet. Springbrook Lake is negative 75.2 feet. Western Lake is 44.5 feet, and Pleasant Lake is 4.5 feet. Now, our first question we have is, how could you use a horizontal number line to compare the elevation? So one thing you can do is you could graph this information on your number line. So you could graph the elevations. And then compare them. And then compare the numbers. Because once you have them on the number line, the numbers will be in order for you. Next one, B. What happens to the elevations as you move right on the number line? When you go to the right, they're going to increase. So the elevations, just like that, they're going to increase because as you go to the right, the numbers get bigger. Now we're going to look at the opposite. What happens to the elevations as you move to the left? So as we go to the left, the numbers get smaller. So the elevations will decrease. Then D, which lake is at a lower elevation? Springbrook Lake or Forest Lake? So we're going to take a look up at our numbers. We have Springbrook Lake and Forest Lake. So Springbrook Lake, we're at negative 75.2. And Forest Lake, we're at 90. So right away, first thing you should check always is the sign in front of it. Is there a negative sign or is it positive? Ones that are negative are obviously going to be smaller than the ones that are positive. So I know because Springbrook Lake is negative that it's going to be the lower elevation. So we're going to type Springbrook Lake because it is a negative number. It is on the left-hand side of 0. Forest Lake is a positive and it's on the right-hand side of 0, making it the larger number. Hold on one second as I are able to go down the page slightly. Okay, now let's look at E. Which lake is at a higher elevation? We have Belden Lake, and Belden Lake is sitting at negative 18.5. Oops. So negative 18.5 is Belden, and Springbrook Lake is negative 75.2. So we have to figure out which one's at the higher elevation. Now, when we deal with negative numbers, if it helps you to kind of draw a little number line, you can do that. So I have my 0. I'm going to count by 10, so negative 10. And then I have negative 20. So when I'm going, I know that negative 18.5 is around right in here. And then negative 75.2 is going to be all the way down here somewhere. So the higher elevation in this case is the one that is negative 18.5, which that is Belden Lake, because 18.5 is farther to the right-hand side on the number line. The farther on the right-hand side, the higher the elevation. Put that into words down here. So Belden Lake, because negative 18.5 is farther on the right of the number line. But the farther right you go, the higher the number. Now F, how can you use a number line to order the elevations? So to do that, you're just going to graph the elevations. Then write the numbers and how they appear from left to right. In the order they appear from left to right. So if I put my dots on my number line, if I had a dot here and a dot here, from left to right is what you need to do, and that's all you have to do on that one. Now let's flip over to page 15. So we're on page 15. This is number 2. These are pretty long problems because they left the whole entire page. We're going to use this information in number 2, and we're going to answer just like the last one. We're going to go from A to E. Deshawn, Chris, Tanya, and Austin play a game. Each turn, a player can lose a point or win a point. At the end of the game, the scores are as shown. So Deshawn has 2, Chris has -4, Tanya -5, Austin 3. And for number 1, it says graph the scores on the number line. So we're going to take 2, 1, 2, and our dot's going to go right there. For Chris, -4. So -1, -2, -3, -4. Tanya's -5. So if this is -4, this is -5. And Austin is 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to use what we did up here on the graph, and we're going to do some explaining. Is Deshawn's or Tanya's score greater? So Deshawn scored 2. So Deshawn's all the way right here. Sorry. So Deshawn's got 2, which is right here. Tanya got -5. And the first thing you always check is if one's positive and one's negative. Deshawn is positive, so his score is higher. So Deshawn's score is greater, and explain it. Because 2 is greater than -5. You could also say something about 2 being farther on the right-hand side of the number line. Our next thing we're going to look at is Chris's score greater than Tanya's? So let's look at Chris. Chris is -4, which is right here. Tanya is -5. So Tanya's score is farther to the left, Chris's farther to the right. So is Chris's score greater than Tanya's? Yes, Chris's score is greater because what -4 is farther to the right on the number line. Numbers farther to the right are greater than numbers that are on the left. Number line, sorry. D. From left to right, do the values of the number line increase or decrease? And then we have to explain our reasoning. So, do the values of the number line increase or decrease from the left to right? The numbers increase. If I start on the left-hand side, if you look up here at our number line, all of them are negative. As I go to the right-hand side, they get positive. So, they increase because numbers on the left are less than numbers on the right. And that's all you have for D. And let me move the page up and we'll look at E. Okay, E, use the number line to write the scores from least to greatest. So you can't see my scores anymore on my number line, but you can look at the ones that you did. And so when I'm looking at the scores, I know we go -5, -4, 2, and 3. Now, how did you find the correct order? That's what we're going to say now. So, since these are the numbers from left to right on the number line, they are in order from least to greatest. Now, I'm not going to be too picky about your wording on these. As long as I have the gist of them, they don't have to be the same exact thing as mine, as long as they're getting to the same meaning. It doesn't have to be the same thing. Now, this is going to be the end of this video, and I'll do page 16, which is number 3, on the next video.